Region 9 soccer is in the second round of the playoffs today. The Utah Jazz, Utah Mammoth, Vegas Golden Knights all in action. We're talking about it in today's episode of Southern Utah Sports Report. Welcome back on in, everybody. The Southern Utah Sports Report podcast. Appreciate you joining me today. My name is Caden Formaster, host of the show, and you can find this podcast. Obviously, you found it if you're listening to it, but we are playing this on the radio as well. So if you're listening on the radio, go search out the Southern Utah Sports Report podcast and subscribe to it so you don't miss out on any of the episodes, because this is a daily show where we talk about everything going on in Southern Utah sports. And if you're a fan of Southern Utah sports, no better place to be than right here with us on this lovely Tuesday. And appreciate you joining us. New episodes released every day at noon. So if you want to get in on the action early, noon is the time to do so. New episodes again every day at noon. Go to thefansportsnetwork.com. You can click on the shows tab. You can find it there. Go to Spotify. Go to Apple Podcasts. YouTube. You can watch this as a podcast. We have a video element to it, and you can watch that over on our YouTube page with the Fan Sports Network. All right, let's dive on into the action. First up, Region 9 athletics. We're talking some Region 9. As I mentioned in the intro, the Region 9 slate for tonight is really, it's a state slate. We have state soccer ahead of us. And when it comes down to it tonight, or should I say really this afternoon, there are 4 teams left playing in the state championships right now. You have Uintah at Crimson Cliffs. We're going to have East at Desert Hills, and Judge Memorial at Snow Canyon. Plus, Cedar is going to be on the road, and they got to be taking on Green Canyon. Now, when it comes down to it, let's break down each of these games and take a little bit of a dive into specifically the way that these teams are set up through the bracket. So, first up, we have Crimson Cliffs. And as of right now, Crimson Cliffs, yes, they're going to be the home team, which is great. You love to see it. You love to be the home team anytime you can get it. But we also have the fact that they're going against a number 11 seed here. This is going to be a little bit of a tighter matchup when you get these 6 and 11s. Desert Hills and East is a 7 and 10, so that's an even tighter matchup there. That basically means that nothing's going to be given. There's not going to be anything here where Crimson Cliffs is going to be just gifted some sort of a pass into the next round. It's going to be earned, for sure. It's going to be extremely earned. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But they could do it. I mean, you got home field advantage for a reason. Basically, that means you were the better team throughout the season. You got the bye week. Up to this point, Uintah had to earn that win anyway to go against Crimson here in this first round. And they did so in an 8-2 win over Juan Diego. But when you look at Uintah throughout this season, up to this point, they're 12-5 overall. That's a pretty solid record. However, it still doesn't beat where Crimson's at right now. When it comes down to it, Crimson Cliffs looks like they could be the better team here. They're 13-4. They've had a fantastic season up to this point. And again, 13-4 season, you might be thinking, that's really solid. That's really good. Well, 13-4 for Crimson Cliffs has only put them in the 6th seeded spot, right? There's still a lot of teams ahead of them, including some Region 9. So as good as Crimson Cliffs is, this is just a really powerful part of the bracket already. Even into the second round, it's always going to be tough when you get into that second round. Same thing goes for Desert Hills. They're taking on East today. East got through the first round with a 3-0 win over Orem. On the season, they're 15-4, so it's going to be a pretty good competition against Desert Hills this afternoon. And again, all of these are home site games that I'm talking about at this moment. And then, of course, you have Snow Canyon. Now, Snow Canyon has been ridiculously good all season long. They are the 3rd-ranked team in the state with a 14-2 overall record. The 2 losses, one of them came to Salem Hills, the other one came to Desert Hills. So Desert Hills has had a chance to knock down one of the best teams in the state in Snow Canyon. But the girls soccer team here looking to try to improve again and get a win, move on to the next round, which I think is very possible to do. Now, if Desert Hills moves on to the next round, they will be facing the winner of Green Canyon and Cedar. Cedar's on the road. They're the 15th ranked team. Cedar being on the road at Green Canyon against the number 2 team in the state. I'm going to just tell you this right now. It's going to be extremely tough for the Reds to get a win here. I'll call it as it is, okay? I don't want to sugarcoat it because I don't want to try to look like we're not trying to favor our Region 9. We cover them, but that doesn't mean we're going to favor them. It's tough. Green Canyon's a very, very, very good team at that 2 seed. And they will definitely struggle against Green Canyon if they somehow come out of this with the win. Could happen. Don't get me wrong. Weird things can happen in the world of sports. They will face the winner of Desert Hills and East. So again, if Cedar goes through, they'll face the winner of Desert Hills and East. If Desert Hills goes through, they could face Cedar, could be Green Canyon. We'll see. Quarterfinals, by the way, October 16th. So in 2 days from today, and it's also going to be at home sites, just to keep that in mind. Judge Memorial is in town taking on Snow Canyon. That game also at 4 o'clock. Winner of that game will face the winner of Uintah and Crimson Cliffs. It's a very good chance that we could have Snow Canyon and Crimson Cliffs on Thursday right here in southern Utah, which would be really awesome to see. So keep your notifications on for sure. We'll see if that's going to end up being a game that will be played right here after today. So tomorrow's episode, we'll be talking about it, breaking it down a little bit more. So make sure to tune in for that. We'll give you the results on all of that. So again, Uintah at Crimson Cliffs, East at Desert Hills, Judge Memorial's at Snow Canyon, Cedar is at Green Canyon here in the second round of girls soccer in the playoffs. We are still in the regular season when it comes to volleyball. Volleyball right now, though, we only have 2 games of note to talk about. Cedar's going to be at Dixie, and then Pineview is at Snow Canyon. And we're really close. We are coming up shortly on some of the final games of the regular season for these volleyball teams. There's not much left to be played in regular season volleyball before we get to the playoffs. So just keep that in mind, that if there are any home games coming up, that it really is going to be coming up on the final games of the season. When it comes to the bracket, the first games of the playoffs will be played on October 23rd. So we're just about 8 days or so out from state volleyball getting started. It's going to be first rounds for the home sites. Second round is going to send it off to UVU, and then from there it's going to go quick. So October 23rd is where they narrow it down, and then second through the finals is all at UVU, and it's across a 2-day span. If you haven't ever been or haven't seen how this works, it's pretty impressive. They set up multiple, like 3 volleyball courts at UVU. And it is wild to see all of these volleyball games going on at the exact same time. It's kind of wild. It's kind of fun, though. Let's call it what it is. It's fun. It's pretty fun. So, again, we are looking at the final slate of volleyball games coming up. 2 of these games tonight, Pineview, Snow Canyon, Cedar is at Dixie. And then we do have on Thursday some more. For example, we have Desert Hills and Snow Canyon are going to be facing off, going head-to-head, and that's going to be the final game of the season for those 2 teams, plus, of course, some of the others that are going to be played on that day as well, which we will fully get into it at another date. On Thursday, we'll talk more about that. So that's where volleyball is at right now. All right, let's move on. We've got some Utah Tech to talk about, and we're talking about something that's really quite special, something that we don't see every single day here for us here in the state of Utah, or really just when it comes down to it with Utah Tech, I should say. And that is that we have a Utah Tech athlete that has a sponsor exemption for the PGA Tour and the Bank of Utah Championship. Don't forget, the Bank of Utah Championship, formerly known as the Black Desert Championship, it is being held here in southern Utah at Black Desert. That is coming up shortly, October 23rd through the 26th. Out at Black Desert Resort in Ivins. And again, the Bank of Utah Championship. Well, David Liechty, he receives the sponsorship exemption for Utah Tech Golf, and he's going to be playing in this tournament, which is so cool. And I'm so happy for him and for the hard work that he's put in, because it is not easy. It's never easy to go out and play good enough golf to then go play with the pros. I've seen this time and time again with other professional golf tournaments where the sponsor exemptions can do one of 2 things. And that is, well, really 3 things. Obviously, it could be, hey, maybe you're not ready for the big time. The other thing could be they just kind of settle in and just play golf like everyone else does. And I've seen some sponsor exemptions go out and compete and really play so well that they make the cut and move on to the final round in the final day, which is awesome. I think that is so cool when that happens. It's never an easy thing to do, but it is awesome when it happens. So, yeah, we'll keep that in mind that we'll be looking for his name on the list, on the score sheet. David Liechty, keep an eye on that name because he's going to be coming in from Utah Tech with that exemption. So that's going to be pretty exciting there. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Utah Jazz. They were in action last night, taking the loss to the Mavs 114-101. Now, the Utah Jazz last night, again, it's preseason. We've talked about this before on the show. Preseason doesn't mean a whole lot to me. There's going to be guys that go out there and play just a few minutes here or there, and that's all you expect from them. There are going to be some times where you want to see how guys play for long periods of time. You want to see if the stamina is there, if they can keep up with it. So, for example, like Taylor Hendricks played 28 minutes last night. Now, in a regular season game, you're going to see a lot of your starters playing closer to 32 minutes a night, you know? For example, even Keontae George, Yusuf Nurkic, these guys were all in the low 20s. Lauri Markkanen with 18. So you're going to see a lot of younger guys with a lot more minutes. Walter Clayton Jr. as a rookie had 29 minutes on the floor. You're not going to see that from him in the regular season. That's just not going to happen. Ace Bailey struggled last night. He only played for 11 minutes, but still struggled in those 11 minutes. It's fine. It's preseason. Don't read into these things too much. They did lose this game to the Mavericks. I think for a lot of people, it was just kind of exciting to see Cooper Flagg out there. If you went to the game or if you were watching this game, it's always nice to see how the number 1 overall draft pick does. And he did okay. 11 points, 7 rebounds. Not bad. Led in rebounds. Anthony Davis led the way with 25 points. You expect that from him. He's an all-star, of course. He's going to be the guy that goes out there and scores a lot. So preseason is just the way it is. Don't expect too much. Don't read into it too much. Yes, the Jazz are 0-3 in preseason. Okay. They have one more preseason game left. That's on Thursday. And they're going to be at home against the Trailblazers. And then finally, the regular season will start on Wednesday, October 22nd. So we're a little ways away from that. But it's going to be fun once it starts up because then it really matters. That's when things actually get into it, and it gets a little more into the realm of, hey, this is stuff that's important. This is the stuff that matters. This is the stuff where we can actually judge how good this team could be. Can they be a playoff team? The first few weeks, I think, are important, but even still, it's not a full marathon like baseball is, but this is still a long race to the finish line. There's still a long way to go in this regular season. By the way, NBA Cup is back this year. And the first NBA Cup game is going to be on October 31st, Halloween night. It's an 8 o'clock tip-off against Phoenix Suns. And so the Jazz, Suns, they're going to be a part of that group stage, as well as the Timberwolves. There's a game against the Timberwolves coming up on November 7th. They'll be home against the Thunder on the 21st as well. And then they will be in Sacramento taking on the Kings on November 28th. And all of that is a part of the NBA Cup group stages. So pay attention to those games. Those are going to be some important dates. If that is something that you want to follow, the NBA Cup, to me, kind of a waste of time. That's my personal opinion. Take that as you will. All right, let's talk about the Utah Mammoth. They came up short to Chicago in a 3-1 loss. This is their second loss of the season. They've been struggling so far. I mean, it's tough because it's so early in the season. You don't want to say anything that, you don't want to say that this team's bad. You don't want to say the team's good. It just is what it is. They're 1-2. Okay. They could go on a hot streak and go win 5 games and be the number 1 team in the Central Division. It doesn't matter to me. It's still so early. Don't get me wrong. It's important. You want to see how guys are doing, how guys are improving. And this is a part of it. This is a part of it, is making sure that you go out there and win games you're supposed to win. Chicago's a team you should beat. And the fact that they didn't beat them, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. JJ Peterka had the single goal for the Utah Mammoth. They interviewed him post-game. We have that interview for you here, so let's dive on in and take a listen.
That was probably a frustrating one in terms of how you guys executed, but can you assess just overall in terms of that game?
Yeah, I think not our best first, but came out in second, played really well. Even in the third, but I think just little mistakes cost us here.
What's the fine line between balancing urgency that coach wants to see plus good puck decision making?
Well, I think going forward, just working harder. That's the key. They worked hard. They worked their ass off. We weren't good enough in battles. weren't good enough in tracking. So I think, going forward, that's needs to stop.
You did score your first goal of the season with this group. What can you tell us about how that unfolded and what was working with your line?
I think just pressure them. I think that was the key. To get chances off the forecheck, kind of like sit on them, and it's also how the goal went in. Just forecheck and then getting bodies to the net.
How much credit do you have to give their goaltender?
Yeah, I mean he played a really good game. I don't think we made it too tough because we had a lot of shots from the outside too. But when he needed to stop pucks, he was there for sure.
So there we go. That's a little bit of information from JJ Peterka from the Utah Mammoth. We have another Utah Mammoth game coming up, but it's not for a few more days. They're going to be taking on Calgary. But speaking of Calgary, we do have the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Calgary Flames tonight in Calgary. It's a road game for the Vegas Golden Knights. Calgary right now is sitting with 2 losses and 1 win on the season. This should be a win for the Golden Knights, but it's still so early. It's tough to tell. Knights right now with 1 win as well and 2 overtime losses. So as far as points go, they've got 4 points. What's crazy is the spread between the Central Division and the Pacific Division already. The Avalanche already have 7 points on the season. By the way, the way you get points is a win is worth 2, an overtime loss is worth 1, and then a regular loss is no points at all. So, for example, the Avalanche have 3 wins and an overtime loss, 7 points, right? And the Mammoth have 1 win and 2 losses, so they just have the 2 points from the 1 win. Golden Knights, they have 1 win, 2 overtime losses. They're sitting at 4 points. Their 4 points would put them around, they'd be tied for 3rd if they're in the Central Division, furthest down because there's 4 teams with 4 points, right? So they could be a ways down the line there as far as 6th, I suppose, in the Central Division. But in their own division, they're tied for 1st. So things are going to change around a lot. It's still super, super early in the season. So Knights, Flames tonight, 7 o'clock. Now, before we wrap up the show, because we're just about done here, I want to propose something to you guys. Head on over to the Fan Sports Network Instagram page, and we have a poll over there. And I want you guys to participate in this poll because we cover both Utah Mammoth and Vegas Golden Knights. This is the first time in history in the last year and now some change that Southern Utah has had their fandom split amongst professional teams. Now, I will say we're always split when it comes to places like the NFL because we've just never had a team until Las Vegas moved into town. And so now we have 2 professional teams that we are actually close to. We hold the name Utah in St. George. Geographically, we're closer to Vegas. Head on over to the Fan Sports Network Instagram page. There's going to be a poll, and I want to see, where does your fandom lie? Are you more a Golden Knights fan? Are you more of a Utah Mammoth fan? I want to know. I want to see what kind of fans we have here. I want to see how close of a 50-50 split it actually is, because I don't know, and I want to find out. So I think it'd be fun. All right, that will just about wrap it up for us here today. Appreciate you joining me on the show, Southern Utah Sports Report. Subscribe wherever it is that you find your podcast, and make sure to share it as well. If you know any sports fanatics here in Southern Utah that want to learn more about Southern Utah sports, just stay up to date with things going on in the community. That's what this is for. It's to update you on what's going on in the community and to give you a little more insight into all of the athletics that we have here between Region 9, Utah Tech, SUU, and into the pros with the Jazz, the Knights, the Mammoth, the Raiders, and coming up later this week, because it is Utes and Cougs on Saturday, we will be having an episode this week talking some Utes and Cougs. So let's get on into that at another time. But for now, appreciate you joining me here on Southern Utah Sports Report. I've been King Formaster, and we'll see you tomorrow.